Hello, my name's Matthew Alcover, and welcome back to Blind Faith Studios. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps build the ministry. The purpose of my channel is to help bring others to Christ. In this particular episode, I want to cover Pam Reynolds' near-death experience. This episode is for the non-believers, the atheists, the agnostics, and for believers. I wasn't a Christian until I was 37 years old. The path I had to go through is I had to recognize that there's life beyond death. This particular video isn't what brought me there. That's a different episode, a different video, but this one helps affirm that there is life beyond death. I found this through the movie called After Death. It was released in 2023. We're going to start off with a trailer, and then we'll go into, there's an actress portraying Pam Reynolds in that movie, and we'll continue into Pam Reynolds' actual story. I hope you guys like the episode. Let's get into it.
Had full brain recordings from a dying human brain. Even though they were unconscious, they were able to give corroborative evidence.
She's described herself because she just shouldn't know. This ain't right.
You can't be mystified by that question. What happens after you die?
This really does show that there is life after death.
So I'll pause there. If you haven't seen the movie, that's the trailer. Definitely go see it. Now let's get into Pam Reynolds' ND story.
But for Pam, there was one last hope.
So let's pause right there. An aneurysm is a bleeding. In her case, the aneurysm was deep within her brain, and it was considered inoperable. Right here, again, the bleeding in the brain, it's basically bleeding in the brain, right? And it's considered inoperable because they would have to damage the brain to get deep inside the brain. So even if they could fix the aneurysm, who knows, she might be a vegetable when they're done. She may not even live, right? But her options are limited because it is a fatal situation. So she either does nothing and has a high chance of dying, or she does something and has a high chance of dying. Let's continue.
Pam's body temperature would be lowered to between 10 and 15 degrees centigrade. Her heart and breathing stopped. Her brain waves flattened, and the blood drained from her head.
So I want to pause right there. The reason for that is they're basically killing her before the operation. They're draining the blood out. They're going to put earbuds in her ears. They're going to send sound clicks through. They're going to be measuring her brain activity during the process, and they're going to be intentionally killing her before the operation. And the way they're going to know that she's dead is there will be no brain activity when the clicks happen. Her eyes are going to be taped shut. Her ears are going to have the clicking noise going into them. And at the end, hopefully they'll be able to get in there and get the aneurysm fixed. But the point is, if the brain is off and they're operating, it'll do less damage than if the brain is on. And for all you techies out there, if a computer is off when you're operating, it's safer than if electric current is flowing through it. It causes less damage as you're working on it. Let's continue.
She would be clinically dead.
So I want to pause there. So I don't know if Pam Reynolds was a believer before the operation, but they literally killed her on the table, and she was being monitored in every conceivable way by medical professionals. So she was medically dead for over an hour during the procedure, and she describes popping out of her body. Let's continue.
Stage in the operation, nobody can observe, hear in that state.
So I want to pause right there. What he means is she's medically dead. She's being monitored. She can't see anything. Even if she was alive, her eyes are taped shut. She can't hear anything because her ears have, clicking devices in her ears. She has zero brain activity. So from every medical means of measuring, she is dead. She is not there. She should not have any sort of awareness, assuming there is no life beyond physical death. Let's continue. I've seen many different ND stories, and they're different, but they all have a similar theme. Everybody who goes to the other side wants to stay. Most people don't want to come back. They either have to because they have more work to do, or God forces them to come back. But most of us want to stay. Let's get right there. So for the atheists watching this, you're probably going to want to ignore the, popping out of the body. For the agnostics, you're like, I'm not sure. But yes, this case is amazing because she is medically dead, but as you'll find out, she has an awareness. She knows what tools they're using. She can hear, even though her ears are plugged. She can see what's happening, even though her eyes are taped shut. Even though she's medically dead, not even all the doctors are believers. Some of them are atheists. So this is a great testimony, at least to help prove that there is life after death. Let's continue.
I don't have an explanation for it. I don't know how it's possible for it to happen, considering the physiological state she's in.
My conclusion on this is that if you're an atheist, please consider that there's a high chance that there's life after death. Look into Pam Reynolds' story. You'll be able to find a wiki page on it. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're agnostic, please consider, hey, that there might be life after death. When I was 37 years old, that's when I came to Christ. These are the things, not this particular video, but these are the things that help point me to the fact that, hey, there's probably life after death. And if there's life after death, then, God has to exist. And then eventually, if God exists, which God? Is it the Christian God? Is it the Muslim God? Which God is it? And that put me on a 2 or 3 year journey to eventually picking Christianity and getting saved. If you guys like this episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and help build this ministry. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.